So I would like to share some thoughts. I've got a lot of videos I want to make, and these are all going to be pretty spontaneous videos. I recently posted a very innocent and genuine post about basically stating that I love men, which is quite unusual to me. Why that should be so unusual. Okay, I'm a woman and I love men, so what? So it is something I'm trying to bring attention to. I have a purpose and an intention. I work with men in particular, and I just wanted to say that with anything that I share, in trying to raise awareness around the fact that, number one, I don't feel like man bashing and saying a lot of negative stuff around men and using it's 3 letters, it's one word, and in that one word you're capturing a huge chunk of humanity, okay, and putting all these labels and all these opinions on every single man and actually every single male out there, and I find it really disturbing. So when I shared a post, I got a very predictable response. I had a lot of positive responses, but I just want to comment and kind of make clear what my approach is going to be to people who want to respond negatively, especially if it's in a really childish manner. So basically I got accused of not supporting gays, and I got accused of yeah, basically not supporting gays because I love men, okay. And also it was very rude, and another load of negative comments, and basically swearing and calling men all sorts of, you know, the usual horrible names and all that. So I deleted the comment, I blocked the person. That person also invited me to a group, this was on Instagram, invited me to a group, and there's this group chat going on between 21 people that was just really immature, really negative, really aggressive, and yeah, I just predicted that. Really sad. Can you imagine if I was posting things about why women are so amazing and so beautiful? I wouldn't have had any of that. I go and say something really basic and really innocent about, you know, why I love men, basically saying not all men are the same, neither are all women, no two people are the same, okay. So why I'm making this video and this podcast, going to be a podcast as well, the main thing is I am open to debate. You know, one of the whole reasons I'm expressing this opinion of mine is that I actually do want to try and change this point of view around all men being bastards and all of that, because that's just, you can't generalize with anything, whether it's a race, a culture, a gender. I mean, you just can't. It's just so hypocritical, really. So, and everyone knows that. But so if it's going to be a childish and aggressive outright attack on me or on men, I'm gonna delete and I'm gonna block. Simple as that. However, if you want to open up to a healthy adult debate and conversation and discussion, I'll invite that. I'm more than happy to do that. We can do it on podcast, we can do it in the comments, and we can have a chat about it, because I really do empathize with the opinion that people may have about men that is negative. I understand the root cause of it. I empathize. So this isn't me doing an anti-woman thing. It's not an anti-gay thing. It's not an anti-bisexual thing. It's literally just, why does one always have to be the other? It's like saying if I like chocolate ice cream, that means I don't like vanilla ice cream. I mean, it's ridiculous, okay? So this is one of the many predictable, outdated, limiting approaches that humanity has to issues, not just this issue, but to issues in general, which are just really not helpful. They're out of alignment. They don't help. Okay. So, do I love women as well? Yes. Do I have relationships with men? No, I don't. I'm straight. I love men, and I love women as my sisters or whatever. The whole point is that when it comes to people, I have boundaries with men and with women in all situations, whether it's romantic, sexual, business, friendships, family, with my kids. You know, we all have boundaries. Have I had my personal boundaries violated by men? Definitely. Have I had my personal boundaries violated by women? Definitely. In all different situations. So it's really important that if you are going to comment or engage with me at all around this issue, that if you actually want a healthy interaction, then be polite, be mature, have something to say. You can ask me a question, we can talk about it, bring this up into the open. If you want to ask me why I'm doing this, if you want to tell me, let's say you really hate men, you can tell me why you hate men, that's fine. Just don't use any swear words, don't be immature, don't use any of my platforms as a way to vent your trauma. And one thing I'm going to say to you now is that I have had lots of trauma around people, men and women, crossing my boundaries, okay? So this isn't me saying it's okay to let men do whatever they want to you as a woman. There's nothing to do about that. This is me really, this is going to be a very long journey. And I am putting a lot of work into this. I'm really passionate about the subject, because what this is about to me at the end of the day is bringing men and women together. If you look at the planet as a whole, if you look at the human race, and then if you look at the balance of the human race, it's this balance of this masculine and feminine energy, number one, within us as individuals, and then there's the balance within us, whether you are male or female, okay? That's not something I can go down, because I'm literally just focusing on the gender here of men, okay? So in particular, why? Because they in particular are being attacked at the moment. And that's why I'm picking up on this men category, because that is the category. So no one seems to have a problem with categorizing men when it comes to attacking them. No one questions then, oh, but what about gay men? What about a woman who's really masculine? Nobody questions all of that. But as soon as I come out and say something about why I love men and why not all men are bad and all that, they say, well, now you're not looking at the whole gender thing, and you know, having a it's just, seriously, it makes me laugh. So I'm anticipating possibly quite an exhausting journey ahead. I'm going to be doing a lot of work in really trying to get a message across of, it's really about balance. It's about respecting each other. If we're not going to respect men and are just going to keep insisting on being respected as women, that's not going to work. If we are just going to be saying, these are my needs, and not respecting their needs, that's not going to work. And I know that all the work that's been done over the last however many years is to bring the balance of women's needs up, and I totally appreciate that. But what's happening now, I'm not comfortable with, because number one, I don't want to be expected to be masculine, and I feel like I have been under a lot of pressure to be really masculine, and I don't enjoy it anymore. I'm sick of it, but I still have to be for certain reasons. So the whole point is, and my whole purpose behind this is to have that balance. so that there's a mutual respect. So there's a lot of people, basically there's a lot of people out there already doing the work to raise awareness of women's needs and women's rights and why women need to be respected. And I, as a woman, I am just feeling called to now also bring in that feminine, nurturing, loving, understanding, kind, non-judgmental, unconditional, but with boundaries, space for men to actually open up and find some balance in a way that's not gonna end up with them being criticized and have a finger pointed and all that. Because you got to realize that we are fundamentally different, men and women, and we're different for a reason. And the reason that we're different in the ways that we're different is because when we are both in balance with ourselves and at peace with ourselves as a masculine and a feminine, then we are going to interact in a really beautiful way. But if we keep trying to dominate each other or judge each other, change each other, expect each other to be like each other, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And I really love men. I think it's totally normal and natural that I love men because I'm a woman. I'm not scared of men. Have I had bad experiences? Yes, with both men and women. So I judge a person, you know, when I am in an energetic interaction with a person, I assess the person. Do I feel safe around this person? Yes or no? There's no like, it's the gender, so therefore I don't feel safe. And actually, it's really, really empowering to feel safe, to allow myself to feel safe around any man until he gives me a reason to not feel safe, and not the other way around, because I did used to live like that. So there, those are my thoughts for the day. I have a hell of a lot more to come. I really am inviting you to please, if you are a woman and you really hate men or you really fear men, please, I want to know why. Okay, I can assume why, but if you feel like what I'm sharing is triggering you and you want to try and understand where I'm coming from, or thinking why the hell would a woman want to do this, anything like that, or if you feel like you want to get to a place where you feel safe around men and you want to be in a more just okay, I don't really know what else to say about that. Or if you're a man, I want to know how it feels to you. If you feel like you're being unnecessarily attacked by society at the moment, anyway, if you feel like there's anything you want to share around this topic, please do, because I really am wanting to get this kind of out in the open in a different way and being spoken about in a different way. And just remember that it's quite dangerous, the impact that this can have on a young male. Just remember that children have access to media from a very, very, very young age. They overhear conversations, they overhear what's on the news, they overhear stuff that you're listening to from a very, very, very young age. As somebody who practices hypnotherapy with clients and on myself and all of that, the impact of what is said around you from a very young age really affects how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself connecting with the world and all of that. And if you have any young men in your family, boys, children, from any age really where they're young enough to understand what's being heard, if they're going to hear stuff constantly that they're going to interpret as basically, because I am a male, therefore I am bad. I mean, just think about the consequences of that. Okay, that a lot of what I've mentioned now in this has got scope to branch off in 101 longer in-depth conversations and a lot of points that I've covered. So just something to think about for now, and really just an invitation for you to share whatever thoughts you have around this topic, whether you are male or female, whether you are straight or bi, or whatever your sexual orientation is. It's fine, because really at the end of the day, what I really want is for us masculine and feminine to be balanced within ourselves and with each other, so that we can have this really amazing world that we really all want at the end of the day. So thank you for listening, and I need to sort of posture out. Anyway, thank you.